Russia is burying 3 riot police officers killed in a railway bombing. The explosion occurred during an attempt to clear mines from the tracks as the war is increasingly engulfing Russia's deep rear. Funerals were held in the Oriol region for 3 Russian riot police officers who were blown up while attempting to clear mines from railway tracks. This was reported by the Telegram channel Spy Dossier, which records casualties among Russian security forces and the Russian army. According to the channel, several improvised explosive devices were discovered on the morning of September the 13th between Glazunovka and Malokangelsk station. Sappers managed to disarm the first of them, but while working on the second, an explosion occurred. 3 soldiers from the Fortress Special Forces Unit of the Oriol Region Directorate of the Russian National Guard were killed. Lieutenant Dmitry Baranov, Warrant Officer Denis Oksov, and Senior Sergeant Dmitry Astakov. Train service was restored only by the evening of the following day, September the 14th. Photos of the funerals of the Russian occupiers appeared online. The latest loss is further evidence that the war is returning to Russia's core, hitting its security forces right on its own soil. Social media notes. Recall Security Service of Ukraine (SBU) has become a leader in the country's defense efforts with its deep strike operations, utilizing drones to hit more than 200 targets in Russia's rear during the Russian invasion of Ukraine. In an interview with the We Ukraine TV channel, SBU head General Lieutenant Vasyl Malyuk discussed the success of these operations and their impact on the battlefield. We primarily focus on how to support the front and help the soldier on the front lines. To date, we've targeted over 200 objects in Russia's deep rear, military-industrial complexes, logistics centers, and command posts. We've also struck their oil extraction and refining industries, which fund the Russian Ministry of Defense with dirty rubles, Malyuk stated. The SBU's Special Operations Center A has been instrumental in this, making it the flagship unit for airstrike operations, not just in the SBU, but across Ukraine. He emphasized, Ukrainian approach demonstrates the continued relevance of targeting enemy logistics and force generation capabilities into the deep rear. Russian forces have advanced by attacking Ukrainian logistics vehicles and depots up to 30 kilometers behind the front lines. Yet Ukraine has responded by striking the infrastructure that generates these forces thousands of kilometers away.
Ukrainian reconnaissance personnel from the Viking Maritime Operations Center planted minefields on the Tendra Spit overnight. Our defenders also managed to destroy a Russian Vityaz, a multipurpose enemy tractor. This was reported by media with reference to the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine in Telegram. A successful raid on the Tendra Spit. Fighters from the Viking Naval Operations Center of the Main Intelligence Directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine conducted another night landing and installed minefields on the Spit, the intelligence service wrote. The Main Intelligence Directorate also added that our troops from the Naval Operations Center managed to eliminate the Russians' assistant on Tendrovskaya Spit, the Vityaz multipurpose tractor. A DT-10 Vityaz multi-purpose tractor belonging to the Russian occupiers, which the Muscovites used to deliver personnel, weapons, and provisions to enemy positions, fell into a trap set by Ukrainian military intelligence special forces. The Russian Vityaz tracked vehicle was destroyed, the intelligence agency noted, adding that the fight against enemy logistics continues. The Spit, which belongs to the temporarily occupied Kherson region, is located about 30 kilometers from the coast of Mykolaiv region. Covering such a distance by sea, in an area where the enemy has an advantage in both naval and air assets, is a task that requires a high level of coordination and careful planning of the operation. Recall, in July, Special Forces of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine conducted a successful raid on the Tendra Spit. On the night of July 28, the reconnaissance units landed on Tendrivska Spit and destroyed the position of the Russian invaders along with its personnel. Along with the enemy infantry, the Zont electronic warfare system and the Rosa radar station were destroyed. A Ukrainian flag was hoisted over the island. The operation went off without any losses on the Ukrainian side.
"18 Russian staff officers of the 35th Combined Arms Army were killed in a sabotage attack in the occupied part of Zaporizhia Oblast in late August," the Ukrainian project I Want to Live reported. According to the statement, unknown individuals set fire to dry grass near the army's command post, not far from the village of Vosresenka, on August the 30th. The fire reportedly quickly spread to buildings and dugouts at the site. Due to heavy smoke and the command post filling with carbon monoxide, the headquarters personnel were unable to escape. The statement read, "The Ukrainian state-run project published a list of Russian soldiers allegedly killed in the fire. Ukrainian forces and pro-Ukrainian partisan groups have repeatedly targeted Russian soldiers and military infrastructure on occupied territories or inside Russia. Earlier this week, Ukraine's military intelligence, HUR, claimed it had carried out explosions in Russia's Vladivostok as a revenge operation targeting troops accused of war crimes. Vladivostok, a major port on the Sea of Japan near China, lies about 6,000 kilometers east of Ukraine, making it one of Russia's most distant cities from the war's front lines. The operation struck the 47th Airborne Assault Battalion of the 155th Guards Marine Brigade, stationed in the village of Shtitovaya in Russia's Primorsky Krai. According to the source, the battalion fought in near Kiev, Volodar, Mariupol, Kursk and Pokrovsk, and was accused of brutality against civilians and executing Ukrainian prisoners of war. The source reported powerful blasts in the parking lot of a military facility, followed by a second explosion. Russian media said emergency services and a helicopter were dispatched to the scene. Authorities fenced off administrative buildings and parking zones and started inspecting vehicles. "We are waiting for obituaries to appear in the media outlets of Vladivostok," the source said. Local officials said the explosions were caused by a gas equipment malfunction, adding that there were no casualties, though several vehicles suffered minor damage. This comes as a second operation of its kind this year. In May, HUR carried out explosions near Vladivostok, also targeting Russia's 47th Airborne Assault Battalion, an intelligence source told the Kyiv Independent at the time.